All right, next is a name that kind of, I guess, just appeared again. I'm pretty sure Brock on here at TPL is big on Terrence Ross.
Definitely got to follow Brock if you guys don't.
Atlantis Brock, go follow him right now. Go subscribe to his YouTube page. Kids and Animal. Terrence Ross, 15.5 per game, 41 from the field, 34.4 from 3. So the percentages are down. I don't know, again, how many attempts he's getting per game. I didn't look into that. Probably should have. But 15.5 per game. He's just, first of all, you talked about it before. He kills us.
Yeah.
Orlando is not a team we'd have to worry about him killing us in the postseason, but it would be nice to have him. He is, look, 34.4 doesn't sound like the 38 and 39 and 40% 3-point percentages we've seen from other guys. But this dude's just a bucket getter, dude. Like that's really what he is. And if he's hot, he can stroke it from 3. I love Terrence Ross. I'm at a 9 or 10. I agree with Mike. Abe loves him. I'm at a 9 or 10 for Terrence Ross. I'll say 9 simply because Kyle Lowry's my bar at 10, and I can't have those equal. So I'll put Terrence Ross at a 9 for me. Again, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm probably right around there with you. I don't know what I gave Will Barton, but those two are essentially
I forgot.
for me at this point. Terrence Ross, like you said, was one. If he could play against Brett Brown every night, he'd average 77 points a game. He'd break the record for the all-time scoring in the season. But, I like Terrence Ross a lot. I also would enjoy having Terrence Ross come off the bench. So if you can get him and still keep your starting 5, I think that's even better. I don't know it's tough to tell with the asking price in the NBA right now because some guys deadline get moved for nothing, and then some guys somehow get moved for something you never thought it would be. But yeah, I'm big on Terrence Ross. I'll give it a 9.
Snap.
I'm shooting down more to the 7-8 range. I'm like right in between, like a 7.5. And the biggest reason for me isn't the numbers or what he does, because you guys are right. He is a scorer, but he's also one of those types of scorers where he's either hit or miss. And I feel like we already have a couple players like that, and I don't need another player like that. But the other thing is you're locked into a deal with him for 2 more seasons after this. And I don't know if I really want Terrence Ross here for 2 more seasons, because this year you would pay him 13.5. Next year you pay him 12.5, and the year after that is 11.5. So would I be mad if we got Terrence Ross? No, but kind of the longevity of having to keep him on the books and how inconsistent he can be at times is I don't need him coming up and shitting a brick in the playoffs. So for me, the number's lower. I'll bump it up to an 8. Nah, 7.5. I'm saying 7.5. 7.5. I like Terrence Ross, I do, but it's just, I feel like he would be Philly's worst nightmare. It would be like Furkan, kind of like where Furkan scored 19, but then he scored 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people would get mad at Terrence Ross in this city very quickly. And 3 seasons of that, I wouldn't want that.
So Snap doesn't want the inconsistency. George, where are you at with Terrence Ross?
I would say like 8.5 or 9. Like, I understand what Snap's saying because he is on the books the next 2 years. I think he's getting paid like $12 million a year or something. Snap, you probably have
30 right now.
Yeah, he's 30 years old right now. You have him on the books the next 2 years, but I'm going to say like 8.5, 9. I would love him off the bench for this team right now. He's, like everyone's saying, like he's a bucket. Like he scores, and would be a huge fit for us right now. His 3-point percentage has gone down the last 2 years. Like 2 years ago, he shot 38%, last year 35%. But if he can come here and get back to that 38% range, that's huge for us off the bench. So I love Terrence Ross. I think he can score well. I think for this team, it's a perfect fit. I will take him in a heartbeat, so I would say like 8.5, 9 is my interest level.
Now, you said his 3-point percentage has gone down the last 2 years. I believe he's at 34 now. But my thing is also he's playing with the Magic, and he hasn't played. And it's not like he would just be running strictly with bench unit. He'd be mixed with Joel here and there. And here and there.
Exactly.
I'd be very interested to see how Terrence Ross would benefit from playing around those guys as the bucket getter he is. So It's definitely one to keep an eye out for. I don't know how reasonable it is. His name kind of just came up the other day. I don't. Is he even on the? I don't know how out on the market he is from Orlando.
Vince Voss tweeted we were going to trade for him, but he also tweeted we were going to trade for Zach LaVine a couple weeks.
Yeah, I seen that. I see with Terrence Ross. I believe his numbers would improve because he's been playing with garbage in Orlando. Basically, he hasn't played with a guy like Ben Simmons who increases everyone's 3-point shooting percentage up. And Joel Embiid, who just demands double. So, yeah, you could definitely see that. Maybe not 15 points per game because I think his shots attempts go down because it is Orlando. Again, he's besides Vucevic, who else is shooting the ball? So, again, I'm putting him at a 7.5, but I would not be mad about the move.
See, one reason I would really love it, and I agree with Snap, he can be deadly inconsistent, and I think that would piss a lot of people off. However, the nights that Joe just doesn't have it, or Joe's the only one that has it, if you had someone like him where he's coming off the bench, but a night that Toby just doesn't have it, and Seth's not shooting well, and Danny's not shooting well, and Joel has to drop 45, to have this dude come off the bench to where he could maybe get you 20 to 25 here and there, like that's something that I
actually I'm bumping it up to an 8. Because Furkan would get less minutes. So it's an 8.
I think everyone gets an extra half point because Furkan would lose minutes on this.
He would take Furkan's minutes, and now that I'm thinking about that, yeah, I'd fucking love that. So
and also, Abe does make
actually fuck it. We're going to a 9 now. I just actually thought about that. Holy shit! Yeah, give me Terrence Ross over Furkan.
Yeah, and Abe says
Abe makes a good point because like you could definitely move that contract with ease if you don't want
to. Work.
Yeah, if someone wants him, clearly you can move it. But if you're like on the market to like, oh, we got to get rid of Terrence Ross, because say there's an opportunity this offseason, like with Danny Green's contract. Danny Green's kind of making the same money as him, and Danny Green's probably one of the bigger contracts, not within your your big three. Right. So if you needed to move his contract to make a free agency signing that is definitely more beneficial, someone's going to fleece you for more than what he's worth to make that cap space.